This was in response to the Bible is misogynist video that I put out. This person's asking, why would you throw out the good book, even with its flaws, compared to current thinking? Nobody's saying bring that shit back that you complained about, and rightly so. What book would you substitute to believe in? Let's talk about it. I'm not sure how deep I want to go on this question because we can go pretty fucking deep. Let's skim the surface. I'll just answer the question, and then if we take a plunge, just hang on with me, okay? I wouldn't replace the Bible with any other book. I don't think we need books that tell us to worship people. I think the desire to be worshipped is a narcissist trait. I don't like it. Especially if the deity you worship kills people, like a lot of people. I don't think we need that either. I don't think a deity has a use for killing people. It's not for survival. It's not for protection. It's not. They just want to kill somebody, so they do it. And I think that that's a bad thing when they do that. Especially if the people they killed didn't actually do anything wrong, they just didn't listen to the deity and that got them killed. I think if a deity kills people for not listening to him, that's a bad deity, right? That's a bad solution for that deity to have come to. Right, so none of the books with that in it. No narcissists or sociopaths to worship. I don't like that. No books that guess at what happens when we die. Unless they were written by somebody who died, got to ask the people in charge wherever they went some questions, and then came back to life to write the book. Unless that happened, I don't think we should be believing in that either. And even if that did happen, I wouldn't just immediately believe it. I would need someone else to also die and come back with the exact same information. That's how you verify your info. When you're trying to explain why a phenomenon happens, or even that a phenomenon happens, one of the core aspects of a research study is that it has to be repeatable. Someone else has to be able to get the same conclusion you got. We can't experiment with death that way, except for the physical body. And we know what happens to the physical body when it dies because we can experiment on it, and we can research it, and we can replicate it. So books that try to tell you where you go when you die, or the experience that you have after death, or anything like that, I wouldn't believe in that either. Here's the thing. All right, we're doing it, we're diving. Here's the thing. Humans are scared of the unknown, right? And it doesn't get more unknown than being dead, right? The idea of just no longer existing is scary for a lot of people. You are watching someone die before your eyes and they are scared. How do you soothe them? It's okay because where you're going when you die is going to be better than where you are now. Your friends and family will be there. Happiness is there. There is no pain there. It'll be okay. Some people need that because they're scared. And that's why the overwhelming majority of religions and mythologies tell you what's going to happen to you after you die. None of the people who wrote them died and got that information, but they all have a story or a tale or a process of what happens when you die because dying is scary and people need to hear something to let them know it's going to be okay. I don't need a book like that because I'm not scared of being dead. Being dead is just the last thing that living people do. There was a time before I was alive, and that wasn't scary, so why would I think that after I'm alive would be scary? It's the same shit. One, it's because of the unknown, but also there's this idea of purpose, right? Why am I here in the first place? Is there any significance to my existence? The idea that the answer to that could be a no is really scary. So people search for meaning and for purpose because the alternative, the idea that there is none, is scary. So we seek out some kind of purpose for our existence, and religion offers that. Religions can give you a purpose in life. They can just tell you what to do. Do this and your life will have meaning. Don't do this. And that can take the weight of that uncertainty off of your shoulders. But it's still just some guys who wrote it. Just some fucking dudes. But it doesn't matter because it still gives you the peace of mind that you're seeking. It doesn't really matter if the three people that wrote the book of Genesis were not there for any of it or ever spoke to anyone who was there for any of it. It doesn't matter if it answers questions that we have about the unknown, because that will give you peace of mind. In the same vein as the whole purpose thing, we also seek out some sort of sense of justice or retribution. Because the world is unfair, and some people will never know a day of struggle in their life, and for other people, that's all they know. And that does not seem fair, right? Another thing that religious books offer is this idea that good people will be rewarded for their goodness after they die. Bad people will be punished after their death for being bad. That is so much easier to accept. That gives us so much peace of mind, because it's way better to believe that than to believe that a good person will suffer their entire life and then die, and that's it. Because it goes back to, what was the purpose? Why did that happen? That's why so many religions and mythologies give you a reward for being a good person or punish you for doing things that aren't good, right? That's why there's a heaven and a hell. That's why you can be reincarnated as something better than your previous existence. Because it can be so hard to accept this idea that bad people can do bad things their whole life and nothing bad happens to this, just fine. That is horrible to think about for a lot of people. And so they believe this promise that after they die, then they'll get their punishment. It's a lie. I personally think that it's a lie, but you can believe what you want. But it's so much easier to believe that lie than to just navigate the world. It's just unfair. It's just unfair. I want to be clear. The fact that I understand all of this stuff is the reason why I'm not anti-religion, right? I understand why religions form. I understand the reasons why people may feel like they need a religion. I get it. But that's also why I'm atheist. I understand why people teach their kids about Santa Claus. I get the idea of wanting your kid to have incentive to be good and feeling like they were rewarded for their goodness. I get it. I'm still not going to teach my kids that, because that's a stupid lie to your kids. Like, no, a white guy didn't break into our house and give you gifts. I worked my ass off for that shit. You're thanking God for your successful heart surgery? Thank the fucking heart surgeon. He was the one putting in work. All right, deep dive over. We're back up for air. How do you guys feel? I wouldn't replace the Bible with another book to believe in. The closest answer would be a science book. However, the nature of science is that it's always self-correcting, right? Science is just a guy going, this happens, and I did an experiment, and I think this is why this happens. And then another guy shows up and goes, well, I did your experiment, and you're wrong. This is why this happens. And then another guy shows up and goes, well, I did your experiment and you're not wrong, but you're also not all the way right, because really, this is why it happened. And it keeps on going over and over, which is why new data keeps popping up. Science is just getting as close to the truth as we possibly can with the technology that we have currently. As new tech and new information comes out, we change what we have to say to be more accurate than we previously were. So science book would be the closest answer, but I wouldn't just say believe in the science book, because all the science book is just the closest to the truth that we have currently. It doesn't mean it's just infallible or just all the way right or whatever now. It's just as close as we got. So I would say you can use that as a basis and just navigate with the most accurate information that you can use. So yeah, no book for who to worship or what to believe in, and then science books for navigating the world with the closest to accurate information that we have available today. I did forget to touch on morality, but I've already made videos about morality, so just go find those. But I don't think that we should use religions as a basis for morality, because then it becomes dogmatic. It becomes like, you can't change it and stuff. I believe morality changes based on the situation and based on the society that you're in. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you in the next video.